Hello! It has been quite a while. It's been about 2 weeks. Fortunately, took a long break because the Borderlands 4 DLC had me really disappointed. And I just wanted to take a break from the game for a while. Also, I've been addicted to Slay the Spire, so there's that too, but yeah, Slay the Spire 2 is an amazing game. I digress. We're here to finally finish up the final 5 guns. They fixed the Moxie weapons again. So hopefully they didn't break them this newest patch that was released yesterday, because I didn't check, but they fixed them on DLC release. Let's hope they stayed fixed. We've got 5 more guns to go, and we can finally wrap up this Phosphene journey. We can finally get our Ratatataclysm, and I can move on with my life. Probably, I think the next thing I want to do is stream Radical Red. Pokemon Radical Red Nuzlocke. Because I really like Pokemon. And, fun fact, I used to play Pokemon quote-unquote professionally. It was like semi-professionally, or at least used to. I quit after Generation 7 was released, but I used to play in online tournaments. That was, you know, pretty fun. I'm a bit washed. Well, not a bit, a lot washed now, but yeah, let's just get this started. I went ahead and grinded up to 60 about a week and a half ago. I think the best way to grind to 60, which people weren't really utilizing, was the if you can do it, of course, but the little, the name's blanking on me right now. Hold on. It's the what are they called? The little drill sites. I hate it when it does this. It's the thing you would go to farm the Shala. I still can't pronounce this shit. The Shalashaka. That place. Since it's like just wave after wave of enemies, it's, you know, a pretty good place to just grind levels. So I spent about, I wanted to say, it only took about 2 hours to grind from 50 to 60. And that was, of course, before they added boss XP. Now bosses like give a fuck ton of XP, so that's probably the best way to grind for levels now. But before that, I was doing the little drill sites where you would get pearlescence and this. So anyways, no more delays. We've got to get the Anarchy, the Husky Friend, the Cold Shoulder, and the Sweet Embrace, of course. And what else? Let me make sure got the right shit equipped. And yeah, all my gear. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't want to regrind all my gear, so I just saved that everything up to max level. So, am I a cheat? Yes. Does it matter? Not really. Alright. We're starting off with our first legendary. Honestly, I wouldn't mind grinding the gear back up. Excuse me. I wouldn't mind grinding the gear back up, but if getting firmwares, like farming for the exact parts you need, all that is very annoying. It is very annoying. I think it should only be a one-time thing. And I think Gearbox missed out on like adding a little like machine that just raises up all your gear once you hit the next level cap. I think that should be a system. It makes no sense why that's not a system. I also, today I installed a new PSU. If you'd believe it, my old PSU I've had for 11 years. And it's never had any problems, never, you know, shorted anything out, nothing like that. And honestly, it still runs fine. I'm just scared because, you know, you should replace a PSU every 5 to 10 years, right? So I was scared it would get to the point where it would go bad and short things out. So I think it's just better that I replace it before that happens. So yeah, I went ahead and replaced that today. What else? What else? I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember. Just general life things. I do want to talk about how bad that DLC was. I think a lot of people are making a good point on it. It's $30 because it's a DLC and a character, right? And it would have been better if they just released them separately. Honestly, when it comes to that, I would have been fine with a $30 price tag for the character and DLC. I would have been fine as long as they added 1 or 2 raid bosses. Just more end-game content to do. But no, we have to wait for them to do this stupid roadmap to add any fucking raid boss. I just don't understand why they don't do it like they did with the old games. Just have a raid boss or 2 every DLC. That's why Borderlands 2 has held up for so many years, is because each DLC they added to the game added so much end-game content. Like, honestly, the end-game content here is what? Bloom Reaper, the Phosphene Hunt, and maybe the drill sites for pearlescent farming. Maybe, because it like varies. They're not really too hard, but you do need to like have a competent build to clear them. But yeah, that's all we have for our end game. And that really doesn't work for everyone. For me, the Phosphene farm, I'm enjoying them because, you know, I get to stream and all that as well. Like, streaming and video content creation is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I just needed an excuse to actually, like, start. So, like, yeah, this was a perfect excuse to start doing that. But for everyone else, like, there's just not much endgame. That's quite sad, because, you know, that's what Borderlands 4 was really known for, was the endgame. But so far we've had a headhunter, and now I know for a fact that the raid boss and the takedown that they are going to release is going to be pretty good. Like, Well, pretty good in the sense of like for the game's health, it's gonna be pretty good because it's more stuff to do in the end game. I don't know if the raid boss and the takedown itself will be good. You know, if we're going by what they've released before, that's probably not gonna be the case. Bloom Reaper was a flop in my opinion. There's also the elephant in the room with Cash being just what I've seen that character do is just insane. Like all the Vault Hunters in Borderlands 4 are beyond broken. And yet Cash somehow one-ups them. Like how? More broken than Salvador, more broken than, well, still a toss-up if he's more broken than Zane. You have that one clip where Zane did like, what, 4 quadrillion damage or something in one hit? Something crazy like that. They turned Zane from the worst Vault Hunter in Borderlands 3 to the best. Which is a good thing for me because that's who I picked at the beginning and kind of like mained throughout. Like Moze and Flak are very fun. Amara is really fun. But Zane is just a whole different beast when it comes to like enjoyment. You get a slide speed relic, a toboggan, a nice toboggan relic, and just start like sliding everywhere, just one-shotting shit. Honestly, it was the most fun I think I've ever had on a character. But yeah, like I said, toss up between Zane and like Cash being the most broken characters in the series. Which, it's a PvE game, like who really cares if one character is more broken than the other? I know one thing for sure is this raid boss and takedown need to be good. It needs to be good. A lot of people came back for the first DLC, and in my opinion, again, it flopped. You can beat that DLC in 2.5 hours max. If you want to complete all the quests and stuff, it's like 3.5 hours, right? And there's a whole lot of people saying, oh, but like all the other DLCs you can do that, right? You know, let's just take a look at like Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt. In Borderlands 2, you could, you know, clear that DLC in about 1 hour and 30, 2 hours with a good build. However, the reason why I think that argument fails is because that DLC also had 2 raid bosses, which is unlimited content, right? Quote unquote unlimited content, because you could just refarm them to your heart's content. You know that maybe using the Hammerlock DLC in terms of raid bossing was a bad idea, because both those raid bosses suck to farm. But you can kind of get what I'm saying, right? Ugh, excuse me. Yeah, the 2 raid bosses in Hammerlock's DLC suck to fight. But they're still in-game content, right? And that's why I think the argument kind of fails, saying, you know, this DLC you can beat in the same time as like all the other DLCs. Because there's not really, you know, beating a raid boss. You farm that. That's hours and hours of content right there. Something that Borderlands 4 DLC doesn't have. It's just what you beat the DLC, you beat the side missions, you do the little events around the map. Done. You never touch the DLC again unless you farm for a gun in that DLC, right? That's it. It's just like, you know, it's whatever. It's whatever. Honestly, the copium that I was smoking when it came to believing that Borderlands 4 would be giga amazing and the DLCs will fix everything is gone. I have little to no hope for the game anymore. Now, does that mean it's going to end up being a bad game in the future? No, not at all. It just means that I'm going to be less excited for things, right? My expectations are going to be ground level. Maybe that's not a bad thing, you know? Having low expectations means when something really good comes out, you know, you're really happy and excited to play it. Now when it comes to the opposite, you know, high expectations and then what comes out is a pile of dog shit, then you're like, oh, yeah, whatever. I marked that legendary. I'm gonna say I did. I don't know. Speaking of which, how is Borderlands 4 going to release a mobile game with a raid boss, but not the mainline Borderlands game? How come a mobile game gets a raid boss and we don't? That's so stupid, bro. I'm like super upset over that. Oh yeah, speaking of which, the extra 10 levels, by the way, I've gotten to do a lot, like get Meltdown, and of course critical funding. These right here, having these means the neutron capture damage, you get that 4% of action skill damage on top of your gun, and then that gets multiplied by Meltdown. So it's almost 2 times the damage. And Harlow just melts things now. Even if you get a bad hit, it just melts. It just melts. Ooh, a double. Yeah, I'm really happy with those 10 levels. Next level cap we get, we can see about maybe filling out more of the green tree here. Get something like Excited State and Refraction. I've been seeing a lot of people go Refraction, but To be honest, I think Meltdown is better when it comes to neutron capture, at least. I guess it makes neutron capture mobbing a bit easier, but honestly, the enemies just don't last long enough for refraction to be like really useful, unless you're using something like, I don't know, the kickballer or something. Honestly, I wonder how refraction works with the what is it, the linebacker? Does it get an extra bounce? That'd be pretty interesting to test out. I might do that here in some time. Of course, we need to go get our last few legendaries, right? I'm honestly leaving the cold shoulder and the sweet embrace for last. Just because I thought it'd be funny to like have the little final farm be just hitting a jar for hours. I don't know. But yeah, we need the Anarchy, the Stopgap, and the Husky Friend. Or is it Fiend? I think it's Husky Friend. And then once we got those done, we're going to head over to Moxie and farm Sweet Embrace and the Cold Shoulder. And that'll be that. We will be done. Ooh. Oh. I don't know why. That sounded like 3 legendaries dropped at once. Dropping frames. My internet's been a bit wonky these past few days. Oh, there goes my internet. Yeah. Let me restart my internet, cause it is I don't know, it is messing up right now. The past couple of days it's just been not working correctly. Go ahead and reset it real quick.